بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ويسألونك ماذا ينفقون قل العفو كذلك يبين الله لكم الآيات لعلكم تتفكرون في الدنيا والآخرة. And they ask thee regarding what they should spend. Say whatever is above your needs. यहां पर तर्जुमा किया है say thou redundant portion, मगर यहां पर कहा है say that which is extra above your needs. كذلك يبين الله لكم الآيات لعلكم تتفكرون. Thus does Allah explain to you His commands so that you may ponder في الدنيا والآخرة, ponder over this world and over the hereafter. We are reading Tafseer of verse number 219 of Surah Baqarah. Previously, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talked about al-khamru wal-maisir, hukm of intoxicants and gambling. Money is wasted in alcohol, wine, intoxicants, and money is wasted in gambling. Now Allah Pak is telling us where our wealth and money should be spent. A similar question was posed before. وَيَسْأَلُونَكَ مَاذَا يُنْفِقُونَ قُلْ مَا أَنْفَقْتُم مِّنْ خَيْرٍ فَلِلْوَالِدَيْنِ وَالْأَقْرَبِينَ وَالْيَتَامَى وَالْمَسَاكِينِ وَابْنِ السَّبِيلِ وَمَا تَفْعَلُوا مِنْ خَيْرٍ فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ بِهِ عَلِيمٌ was the answer. Tafseer Nasafi says that some Sahaba asked this question, and the question had two points in it. One was on whom should we spend, and second is how much should we spend. First answer was given there, that spend on your parents and your relatives, close relatives, and yateems and miskeen and musafirs. Now Allah is mentioning how much one should spend. Allah Pak said, they ask you what they should spend, meaning how much. Tell them al-afwa, whatever is additional. What is the meaning of afwun? Afwun literally means ma sahula, what is easy for you to spend, not hard. Now for every person, ease is something else. People are of poor, middle class, rich, extremely rich, millionaire, billionaire, trillionaire. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used the word afwun, amazing. Whatever you can spend with ease should be spent in the path of Allah. Bas. Think of what is easy for you, for yourself, and then spend accordingly. Tafseer Nasafi states this, ma sahula wa fadala. Ibn Kathir rahmatullah alayhi says that قُلِ الْعَفْوَ يعني الْفَضْلَ, extra. Taus said al-yasir min kulli shay'in, little bit of everything. Little bit of money, a little bit of clothing, little bit of food, little bit of ration, rice, grains, atta, tail, whatever you can, whenever is needed. Like at the moment around the world, there's so much happening in Palestine. They are in need of various things. They might be in need of baby powder, milk powder. They might be in need of babies' nappies, other materials. Ladies might be in need of personal items. So whatever is easy for you from every angle, spend that. This is meaning of al-afwa, al-yasira min kulli shay'in. Number 3, Rabi ibn Sulaiman said, afzala malika wa atyabahu. Al-afwa over here means your best mal. Look at what is the best you can give and give according to that. Ibn Kasir said these all tafasir come to one conclusion, which is whatever is easy for you, additional, extra, above your needs, give that in the path of Allah. He mentions some hadith. Number one hadith, a man came to Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam and said, Indi dinarun, I have 1 dinar, gold coin. Nabi Pak sallallahu alayhi wasallam said to him, anfiqhu ala nafsik, spend it on yourself. He said, wa indi akhar, I have another one. He said, anfiqhu ala ahlik, spend it on your family. He said, indi akhar, I have another one. He said, anfiqhu ala waladik, spend it on your children. And he said, indi akhar, I have another one. And Nabi Pak sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, fa anta absaru, you know best where to spend. How long is he going to keep answering? This is why in another hadith, he sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, Ibda bi nafsik, fatasaddaq alayha, فإن فضل شيء فلأهلك فإن فضل شيء عن أهلك فلذي قرابتك فإن فضل عن ذي قرابتك شيء فهكذا وهكذا. Spend on yourself first, on your own personal needs, your food, your hygiene, your clothing. Then, if you have more, spend well on your family, on your wife, and your children. And if you have some left additional, then spend on your relatives, close relatives. And then, if you have more left, then spend it here and there, left, right, center, wherever you can spend. This is what they say in English: charity begins at home. You start from your home first. Think about your family, your wife, your kids. Help them, pay for them, look after their health. In fact, in one hadith of Sahih Muslim, Nabi Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, 1 dinar you spend on a miskeen, another dinar you spend on a musafir, another dinar you spend on a yatim, and another dinar you spend on your children, your family. The most rewarding of them is the one you spend on your family. It will bring you the most reward because they are your children and they need you to support them. Nobody else from the town is going to come and support them. So you have to pay for the cost of your kids, their education, whatever is needed. So this is the most rewarding which you spend on your family, on your wife, on your children. Then another hadith explains this a bit further. Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, خير الصدقة ما كان عن ظهر غنى واليد العليا خير من اليد السفلى وابدأ بمن تعول. Best sadaqah is that which is given behind richness, meaning you remain rich even after giving that. You don't fall in need for it. You don't give it all and then you go out begging from others. The hadith says one Sahabi came and he brought one gold the size of an egg. And he said, Ya Rasulullah, this is very expensive gold, pure gold. I want to give it in sadaqah. And this is all I have nothing else with me. Nabi Pak sallallahu alayhi wasallam ignored him. He came from another side. He ignored him. Another side, he ignored him. Then he took it. He was really angry. And he said, you come here with all your possessions to give in sadaqah, and then you will go out stretching your hand in front of other people and begging from other people. Take it away from here. We don't need this sadaqah. And he threw it at him. If it had hit him, it would have hurt him. Now, Huzur realized, because he said that word, that this is all I have nothing else. He said, why are you giving it in sadaqah if that's all you have? Spend it on yourself, on your family first. Now, this is what our Sharia teaches us. Spending everything in the path of Allah is for the likes of Sayyiduna Abu Bakr Siddiq. He was Mutawakkil Kamil. In the battle of Tabuk, he brought everything. Nabi Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam accepted it. He wasn't angry because he knew that Abu Bakr, tawakkul kamil. His wife's tawakkul is kamil. His family, his children's tawakkul is kamil. They're not gonna, go out and begging from people after giving everything. No, they'll rely upon Allah. Allah will provide for them. So he accepted it from him. But from this Sahabi, he didn't accept it. Even from Ka'b ibn Malik, he did not accept it. He said, Ya Rasulullah, part of my tawbah is that I give away everything I have in the path of Allah, because all this musibat came upon me because of my bar and my money and my wealth. I don't want to keep it. I want to give it all away, so my tawbah can be complete. Nabi Pak Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, no. Amsik alayka ba'da malik. Keep some of your wealth with you. You will need it. And he said, okay, then فَإِنِّي أُمْسِكُ سَهْمِيَ الَّذِي بِخَيْبَرَ. I will keep my share which I got from Khaybar. I will use it for myself, and the rest I will give. So, under normal circumstances, we should think about ourselves first, our family first, and then give out to others in sadaqah. And then last and finally, whatever we have extra, is it best to keep it or is it best to give it? Additional extra mal. Hadith says, if you have more than your need, it's best to give it out. Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, Yabna Adam, innaka an tabdhul al-fadla khayrun lak, wa an tumsikahu sharrun lak, wa la tulamu ala kafafi. Remember, extra means which is beyond your need. If something is for your need, then that's not extra. For example, bills, you know that electric bill is coming, gas bill is coming, this bill, that bill. At the end of the month, you've got this much amount to go from your account. 500 pounds, you're going to go. So that is not extra, it's for your need. It's like it's a debt on you, on your shoulders. So you can keep that. But what is beyond and above your needs, more than what you need, then give it out as much as you can. Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam says, son of Adam, whatever is additional, extra, beyond your needs, spending it is better for you, and holding it back is bad for you. And you will not be blamed for just enough. If just enough, you keep it, no problem. Whatever you're according to your needs, no harm. This is just an advice. It's not a requirement. There's a difference between an advice and a requirement. Why? Because Sharia has instructed us zakat, right? Zakat nisab. Why is zakat nisab? Because when you give your zakat, then the rest of your mal is pure. You can keep it. Otherwise, Sharia wouldn't have prescribed zakat. Sharia would have said, you can't keep anything, no need to give zakat, give everything in the path of Allah. This was the madhab of Hazrat Abu Zar Ghifari radiyallahu anhu. Abu Zar Ghifari said a person can only keep with him 1 day's food, 1 day's daily bread. Two times. Morning's daily bread and evening's bread. Other than that, he can't keep anything in his house. He never used to store anything in the house. He never had any extra clothing. Just the clothing which he used to wear. When that gets dirty, he would wash it, dry it, and wear it again. Only one pair of clothes he would have. And he would have just enough food, what is needed for the day. Anything extra, he would just give it away. And other Sahaba, would not like it. And he would argue with them. There would be sometimes fight as well. This is why Hazrat Usman Ghani had to tell him, you just go from Medina Sharif and live in Rabza on your own in that small village. And he went there and he spent the life in that small village. So that is different. Abu Zar Ghifari. And this was the zuhd of Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam as well. He would not keep anything in his house. You remember the hadith? He led Asr namaz, and after namaz, as soon as he did salam, he quickly jumped up. He sprung up and ran to his house and came back after a bit. Sahaba said, Ya Rasulullah, this was something surprising. You don't normally do this. And he said, I had some mal for which had come in. I distributed everything. 1 piece of raw gold was left. I forgot. I remember that in my namaz, and I did not want that piece of gold to stay with me throughout the night. So I ordered it to be distributed as well. he wouldn't keep anything in the house, nothing in the house. नो, हम तो जब तक बैंक बैलेंस बराबर गरम गरम ना हो वहां तक हमको चैन सुकून नहीं होता. लेकिन यहाँ आप सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम की ये लाइफ थी. तो ये many mashayikh used to lead that life, right? But as I said, it's advisable but not a requirement. We have the likes of Hazrat Usman Ghani and Abdul Rahman ibn Auf and Hazrat Talha and Hazrat Zubair who are millionaires. But they used to spend a lot, but still they used to get a lot from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you have to understand what Sharia requires and what Sharia advises. So this spending whatever is beyond your needs with ease, however you can easily spend that, it is better for you. And to withhold it is not good for you. And you will not be blamed if you keep just enough. This is the guideline with regards to spending. What was the question? وَيَسْأَلُونَكَ مَاذَا يُنْفِقُونَ? How much should we spend? And Allah said, whatever is beyond your needs, spend it. And Allah said, كَذَلِكَ يُبَيِّنُ اللَّهُ لَكُمُ الْآيَاتِ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَفَكَّرُونَ. In this way, Allah explains to you His commands so that you may ponder over dunya and over akhirat. Meaning, just as Allah has mentioned ahkam above, right? About khamr, about maisir, and about maza yunfiqun. So in this way, Allah slowly explains to you Allah's ahkam. Ayat over here means ahkam, commands. His commands, what He advises, what He says, what He guides. He explains it to you so that you may ponder over dunya and akhirat. What is the meaning of pondering over dunya and akhirat? Ibn Abbas radiyallahu anhuma said, في زوال الدنيا وفنائها وإقبال الآخرة وبقائها. You may ponder over the fact that dunya is going to perish, fana, and akhirat is eternal, everlasting, and it will remain forever. So Allah tells you that don't fall for the maisir, jua, gambling, khamr, and don't fall for extra money, keeping it with you. Rather spend it. If you spend it, you will store it in the bank of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the akhirat's bank will give you more returns. In dunya, you won't get so much return from the bank. In Allah's bank, there's so much return from there. So store it in there. Ponder over this. This is تَتَفَكَّرُونَ فِي الدُّنْيَا وَالْآخِرَةِ. Hasan Basri said, هي والله لمن تفكر فيها ليعلم أن الدنيا دار بلاء ثم دار فناء وليعلم أن الآخرة دار جزاء ثم دار بقاء. Explained it in a different wording, that a person should know that this dunya is a world of tests and a world which will perish, is not going to remain with us. And akhirat is darul jaza, and darul baqa is the place for rewards, repayment, sawab, and is the place for eternity. You ponder over that. Allah tells you these ahkam slowly, and so that you may understand, you may ponder and contemplate and come to this conclusion. Nasafi has mentioned various wordings over here with regards to تتفكرون في الدنيا والآخرة أني خلقت الدنيا لأمتحنكم فيها بالأمر والنهي والمحن والآخرة خلقتها لأجازي المحسن والمسيء. Others said, في الدنيا فتحبسوا من أموالكم ما تتعيشون وتتفكروا في الآخرة فتنفقوا الباقي فيما ينفعكم فيها فيما أعطاكم الله في الدنيا من الأموال الكثيرة وأمركم أن تخرجوا منها اليسير. You ponder over the fact that Allah gave you lots of wealth in the dunya and He only instructed you to give out little bit from it. And then Allah promised you in akhirat many times more. So you understand that, and you understand the fadl and grace of Allah, and you do shukr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Some ulama said, لِتَتَفَكَّرُوا فِي الدُّنْيَا أَنَّ اللَّهَ وَعَدَ فِيهَا الرِّزْقَ بِغَيْرِ عَمَلٍ مِّنْكُمْ وَتَتَفَكَّرُوا فِي الْآخِرَةِ أَنَّ اللَّهَ وَعَدَ فِيهَا الثَّوَابَ عَلَى عَمَلِكُمْ ثُمَّ تَجْتَهِدُونَ فِي هَذَا وَلَا حَاجَةَ إِلَيْهِ فَمَا لَكُمْ لَا تَجْتَهِدُونَ فِي ذَلِكَ وَلَا يُنَالُ ذَلِكَ إِلَّا بِهِ. Nasafi says that you ponder over the dunya, that Allah has promised you rizq in dunya without even your efforts. Every person's rizq is muqaddar, fixed. And you ponder over akhirat, that Allah has promised you sawab in akhirat for your amal. The amount of amal you do is the amount of sawab you will get. So you should strive and work hard for the akhirat, because you will only get that with your amal. Whereas you're working hard for your dunya, which is already fixed for you. So ponder over this fact. वो जमात वाले क्या बोलते हैं जी, दुनिया बकदरे मुकद्दर और दीन बकदरे मुशक्कत. You will get dunya as much as Allah has fixed for you, but deen you will get as much as you strive for it. So Allah is giving you these instructions so that you ponder over this fact. भाई दुनिया तो जितनी किस्मत में है वो मिलकर रहेगी, वो कहीं नहीं जाएगी. मेरी दुनिया मेरे ही पास आएगी, मेरे अलावा किसी और के पास जा ही नहीं सकती. लेकिन आखिरत में जन्नत के दरजात जो हैं, you can only climb and elevate your ranks in Jannah by your a'mal. Your a'mal. I have mentioned this before as well. I remind you, Hazrat Shaykh Yunus Sahib, Nawwarallahu Marqadahu, said, quoting from Hazrat Shah Abdul Qadir Raipuri Rahmatullah alayhi, that जन्नत में दाखला तो ईमान से होगा, लेकिन रफ़े दरजात ये आमाल और मामूलात की पाबंदी से होगा. The key to the treasures of Jannat is Iman. You can open the gate with kalma la ilaha illallah, Iman, but then your rank is elevated, higher Jannat, best Jannat, splendid Jannat, beautiful Jannat. The higher you want to go, you have to work for it. Your ma'mulat, your wazaif, your ibadat, your a'mal. The more amal you do, the more ibadat you do, is the higher you will climb and the greater ranks you will get in Jannat. So this is what Nasafi is saying, tatafakkarun fi dunya wal akhirah. सोचो, दुनिया में सोचो, आखिरत के बारे में सोचो. दुनिया जितनी मिलने वाली है मिलेगी, और आखिरत जितनी मेहनत करोगे इतनी मिलेगी. दुनिया के लिए इतनी ज्यादा फिक्र मत करो, आखिरत के लिए ज्यादा फिक्र करो. और हम लोग क्या हैं साहब, फॉर आवर दुनिया विल वर्क आवर सॉक्स ऑफ. सुबह से शाम तक काम पर जाएंगे, 9 बजे से 5 बजे तक, ओवर टाइम, एक्स्ट्रा टाइम, 7 बजे, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, we can get extra hours, make more money, weekends, make more money, another job, second job, third job, night shift, this shift, that shift. But for akhirat, we can't even pray our faraz namaz. Fajr qaza, Zohar miss, Asr ghaib, Maghrib, okay, I'll see if I have time, I'll go. If it's convenient, I'll pray. If it's inconvenient, Maghrib is gone as well. Isha, I have to go sleep early. I can't stay awake till late. Miss Isha. So this is hal of farais, let alone nawafil, tahajjud, ishraq, chasht, awabin, tilawati Quran, zikr azkar, and amal. So these ma'mulat, pabandi, Ramzan is coming, we should be getting ready for Ramzan. Shab-e Mi'raj is coming, Shab-e Barat is coming, Ramzan is coming, we should be looking forward to it. So this is what تتفكرون في الدنيا والآخرة. Tafseer is done by Nasafi Rahmatullahi alayhi. We move on to the next instruction. Allah says, وَيَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الْيَتَامَى, and they ask you regarding the orphans. قُلْ إِصْلَاحٌ لَهُمْ خَيْرٌ. Say, O my beloved Muhammad, to them, it is best that you set right the affair and matter for them. وَإِن تُخَالِطُوهُمْ فَإِخْوَانُكُمْ. And if you were to mix with them, then they are your brothers. وَاللَّهُ يَعْلَمُ الْمُفْسِدَ مِنَ الْمُصْلِحِ. And Allah knows the one who is making mischief from the one who is doing islah and good. وَلَوْ شَاءَ اللَّهُ لَأَعْنَتَكُمْ. And had Allah so willed, He could have put you into difficulty and hardship. Inna Allah Azizun Hakim. Indeed, Allah is mighty and wise. وَيَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الْيَتَامَى. People ask you regarding the yateems and the orphans. Tafseer Uthmani states that some people were not so careful regarding the property of the orphans. So it was ordered not to approach the property of an orphan إلا بالتي هي أحسن. ولا تقربوا مال اليتيم إلا بالتي هي أحسن. Do not go near the mal of an orphan except in the most beautiful way. And some warning was mentioned if you take over the property of an orphan. إن الذين يأكلون أموال اليتامى ظلما إنما يأكلون في بطونهم نارا وسيصلون سعيرا. Those who consume an orphan's property, they are filling their bellies with the fire of Jahannam, and they will soon roast in the blazing fire. When these verses were revealed, along with the ayat of Surah Ad-Duha, فَأَمَّا الْيَتِيمَ فَلَا تَقْهَرْ. As for the yateem, don't overpower him, don't subdue him. So these verses were revealed, Sahaba were really scared. Now, Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhuma says that whoever had a yateem under his care, he went home and told his wife to cook separately for him, keep his food separate, his drink separate, his clothing and everything separate. Nothing should be mixed with our food and our drink. Now, what would happen was, at times his food would be left over and it would rot and they would have to throw it away. Same with drink. And also, cooking double is hard for ladies. Separate cooking for him. His rice is separate, his grains are separate, his oil is separate, his chicken is separate, his gosht meat is separate, his sabzi bhaji is separate, everything separate. Is hard. So they said, Ya Rasulullah, there is difficulty in there. We have to, mix their mal with our mal because we do look after them. So is there any flexibility in there? Some Sahaba asked this question. Upon this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed this ayat. They ask you regarding the orphans, say, Islahun lahum khayr. Doing well for them is best for you. See for yourself what is best. If it is best to keep their food and drink separate, keep it separate. If it is best to mix it, then mix it. But your aim should be of Islah. Right? There should be no wastage of the property of the yatim. Islah is better. وَإِن تُخَالِطُوهُمْ فَإِخْوَانُكُمْ. If you mix them with your food, then they are your brothers. You can do it. It's permissible for you. وَاللَّهُ يَعْلَمُ الْمُفْسِدَ مِنَ الْمُصْلِحِ. And Allah knows the mufsid from the muslih. Mentality. Allah knows what's in your hearts and minds. Whose intention is to cause mischief and play foul, and whose intention is to cause islah and do good and set the affair right. Allah knows that. If وَلَوْ شَاءَ اللَّهُ لَأَعْنَتَكُمْ. Had Allah willed, He could have put you into difficulty by not allowing and forbidding for you the mixing. Say, nope, you have to cook separate. But no, Allah is being easy, flexible. Allah is allowing you to mix their food with your food and cook, together and consume His money as much as is fair and needed. Inna Allah Azizun Hakim. Allah said in Surah Nisa, on the first page, first ruku, وَآتُوا الْيَتَامَى أَمْوَالَهُمْ وَلَا تَتَبَدَّلُوا الْخَبِيثَ بِالطَّيِّبِ وَلَا تَأْكُلُوا أَمْوَالَهُمْ إِلَىٰ أَمْوَالِكُمْ إِنَّهُ كَانَ حُوبًا كَبِيرًا. To the yatim, give their mal to them properly, and do not exchange khabith for tayyib, and do not consume your mal along with their mal. Do not mix their mal with your mal. This is huban kabira, a great sin. After a bit, Allah said, وَابْتَلُوا الْيَتَامَى حَتَّى إِذَا بَلَغُوا النِّكَاحَ. Train the yatim, test him until he reaches the age of nikah, marriage, puberty, meaning he comes to his senses, he is mature, he can handle his money properly. Train him, test him, give him few pounds, 20, 30 pounds, tell him go with a shopping list, go to the shopping mall and bring this shopping. So he'll go, check him that he knows how to spend wisely, what to buy, what to not buy, not to overspend. Few times you do this, you train him, and he learns how to manage his affairs and look after his money. فَإِنْ آنَسْتُم مِّنْهُمْ رُشْدًا فَادْفَعُوا إِلَيْهِمْ أَمْوَالَهُمْ. If you perceive good behavior in them and right course and right guidance, then give them their money. فَإِذَا دَفَعْتُمْ إِلَيْهِمْ أَمْوَالَهُمْ فَأَشْهِدُوا عَلَيْهِمْ. When you give them their money, then bring witnesses over them. Call two people. You Bhai, come here. Badar Bhai, come here. This is his money. His father left it, and I'm giving it to him. You bear witness. Tomorrow, I don't want anybody to blame me that I took away the property of the yatim. This is the guidance, and this is what Salafi Salihin used to do. If there's a young boy and his father died, his uncle would take the boy under his care, the girl under his care, and look after them. Now, original hukam was keep their money safe and spend from your own pocket. وَمَنْ كَانَ غَنِيًّا فَلْيَسْتَعْفِفْ وَمَنْ كَانَ فَقِيرًا فَلْيَأْكُلْ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ. If you are ghani, then stay away from his money. Keep it in the safe. And if you are faqir and you cannot support them, then you can take from their money in a reasonable manner. Reasonable manner. If you were to put that yatim in the care of a third party, how much would you have to pay them to look after that yatim? So, based on that, in a reasonable manner, you can take that amount of money from his property and spend on him, because, of course, you need money for his education, schooling, uniform, fees, traveling costs, and his food expenses. And you are faqir, you don't have it. So you can use his money for his expenses. You can use for yourself as well a little bit of amount which you might have to give to a third party to look after him. You can take that 60, 70, 80 pound a week for yourself as well, because you're looking after him and you are faqir, you are needy, you don't have enough. So Shariat says bil ma'roof, in a reasonable manner. Salafi Salihin used to do this. They used to keep the property of orphans separately. And when he is mature, call him over and give him the money. Let's say Hazrat Imam Bukhari rahmatullahi alayhi. He was a yatim. When his father was on his deathbed, he said, La a'lamu min mali dirhaman min haramin wala shubhatin. In my wealth which I am leaving behind, he left a lot of legacy. So I'm not leaving behind a single dirham of shubha, let alone haram. Nothing doubtful. Everything is pure halal. His father died. And in those days, they used to distribute the estate ASAP. And they distributed it. His mother's share was given to her. He had elder brother Ahmad. His share was given, allocated, and Imam Bukhari's name Muhammad. His share was separated, and he got a lot of money. Maybe, perhaps, I think something like 15, 20,000, maybe 25,000. And because he's small, young, they didn't give it to him. They kept it safe. Imam Bukhari grew up. He was 11 years old and he started traveling here and there around the town, city, to Muhaddiseen's majalis and learning hadith from them. And at the age of 16, he went for Hajj with his mother and his elder brother. Now he was given his money, that this is your money, your father left this behind for you. He took that money with him and he spent it all in studying hadith. After Hajj, he took permission from his mother and his brother that I have this passion of studying hadith. I want to stay behind. I don't want to come back to Bukhara. I'll come when I'm ready. His mother said, no problem, beta. Padho, study karo. Happy. Duaएं दी माँ ने. माँ चली गई. Imam Bukhari went around. He stayed in Basra for 5 years. He went in Kufa repeatedly. He went to Baghdad to study from Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal. He went to Dimashq, Damascus, Palestine. He went to Yemen to study from Abdul Razak ibn Hammam. Now, thousands of kilometers he's traveling. He spent all that money in there wisely. You see how halal mal cannot go to waste. His father was particular about halal income, not one dirham of shak shubha, and this is how it affected his children. So they used to look after the property until 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15 years. When the yatim grows up and they test him, he's able to manage his affairs, then they give him the money. This is your money, my friend. Mine, I looked after you. Your dad left this much. I spent this much on you, on your costs, and this is the amount that remains. Take it, do whatever you want with it. My zimmedari responsibility is finished. This is the proper behavior with the wealth and property of a yatim. These days, what happens? Allah, we're not careful about yatim's mal. Many cases have happened. Two brothers doing business jointly, both names. One brother suddenly died in accident. The second brother took over the whole business. For a few days, there was some grief, sadness, crying. But when that mourning period is over, he shows his true colors. He doesn't give anything to his brother's wife, nor to his children. After a few months, years, they're asking, "Bhai, hamara share do?" You know, the whole business is mine. It's on my name. And they can't do anything legally because that partner died, and he is all it's all transferred in his name. And bichara, he didn't give anything. And after some time, he's also gone. He didn't give anything to the yatim children, orphans of his own, flesh and blood, his own brother, real brother. This is our behavior today because we are greedy for money. You will get many cases like this. That should not be the case. We should remember akhirat. आखिरत में हिसाब किताब देना है अल्लाह के दरबार में एक एक पाई का हिसाब होगा इसलिए हिसाब किताब प्रॉपर क्लियर रखना चाहिए पूरा मीरास को जल्दी से सॉर्ट आउट कर देना चाहिए दिस इज अबाउट यतीम्स प्रॉपर्टी ऑल्सो लेडीज वुमेन उनका शेयर भी प्रॉपर देना चाहिए बहनों का शेयर व्हाटएवर शेयर दे आर ओड हिसाब करो दे दो उनको घर बेचना पड़े घर बेच दो लेकिन उनको उनका हिस्सा दे दो दूसरे घर में चले जाओ बड़ा घर छोड़ दो छोटे घर में चले जाओ लेकिन बहनों को उनका हिस्सा दो बीवियों को हिस्सा दो यहाँ पर मुझे किस्सा याद आ गया बीवियों का इब्नुल जौजी रहमतुल्लाह अलैह मेंशन द दिलचस्प स्टोरी नाइस स्टोरी say there was this businessman he was living comfortably with his family wife and everyone and his shop and business was in another area. Now, over there, you know, some girl used to come to his shop. He liked her. He proposed. Nikah was done secretly, and they start living separate lives secretly. Now he starts coming home late in the evening. His wife got suspicious. Now he had made agreement with the second wife that I won't be able to stay the night with you. I'm too scared of my first wife. So at night I'll go home. I'll just stay with you in the afternoon, Qailula time and evening time. Other times I have to go home. She agreed. It's all right. Now this first wife found out. Someone told us that चोली करने वाले बहुत होते हैं, चारी करने वाले. किसी ने कह दिया कि he's got another wife there. So one day he told his bandi to, she told her bandi slave girl to follow him and check what he does throughout. So she sat at a distance and she noticed, after opening shop and doing things, he goes to her house and she comes here and there and she gives the full report. But this first wife said, don't tell anyone, just keep quiet, silent. And she just tolerated. As long as he's okay with me, why should I object? And things kept on moving. She was perfectly, okay, he's sleeping the night with me. He's giving me my expenses. Why should I complain? No difference. Time passes on. Many months and years pass by. Then the Tajir businessman dies. So all his estate is distributed and she gets her share, which was 1/8. 1/8. And at that time, it was from the whole legacy, she got 80,000. So she said, look, 80,000 is not mine. I only deserve half because he has another wife as well. So the 1/8 should be divided among the wives. So she said, I only deserve 40,000. Take these 40,000. She called over the bandi and go and, go with someone and give this to her that this is your share. It's not mine. I can't keep it. So they went to deliver that half of the 1/8, 40,000 to the other wife. When they got there, now look at the amanat, that is surprising thing. The second wife said, yes, I was with him. But sometime before his death, he divorced me. And we were no longer in the relationship. We were separated, we were divorced. I don't deserve it. Take it back to the first wife. This is the amanat dari. Bole bale, nice people, amanat dar people in those days. So, wealth should be distributed properly after the death of a person. Whoever is owed, whatever amount is owed to them, should be given to them. Over here, we are talking about the property of the orphans. Allah Pak is saying, your aim should be to set their affairs right, not to overpower them and take their money from them and consume it and use it for your own purposes and destroy the money. Before the yatim grows up, then you finish all his wealth off. Allah said, وَلَا تَأْكُلُوهَا إِسْرَافًا وَبِدَارًا أَن يَكْبَرُوا. Do not consume the property of an orphan by fuzul kharchi and excessive spending, overspending, extravagantly, and wabidaran an yakbaru, and quickly before he grows up. That he is 10, 11, 12, within 2-3 years he's going to grow up. Before he grows up, let's finish all his money. This is why in one hadith, Nabi Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Allah man kana lahu yatimun lahu malun falyatjar fi malihi wala yatrukha hatta ta'kulahu sadaqa." Tirmizi mein hai. If someone has a yatim who has mal, then he should do business in that mal and he shouldn't leave it so that the sadaqah and zakat would consume it. Based on that hadith, Imam Shafi Rahmatullah is of the opinion that there is zakat in the wealth of a minor as well. But Imam Abu Hanifa said no, there is no zakat in the wealth of a minor, a nabaligh. Just as there is no salat on him, there is no zakat on him until he gets baligh, and then 1 year passes by, and then zakat will be on him after bulugh, 1 year after bulugh. So the meaning of that hadith is that um, do tijarat business in it and try and increase it for the yatim. So within a few years, his mal increases. Of course, there's inflation as well. So within a few years, due to inflation, the value of the mal would depreciate. So try and do some business in it. So when he grows up, you give him more than what his father had left behind. This is what perhaps Nabi Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam is trying to say in there. So we have to be careful, really, really careful with regards to the property of the yatim. This is the instruction given over here. Allah said, do islah for them, what is best for them. And if you feel that mixing their mal with your mal is better, then do that. But remember, Allah knows the mufsid from the muslih. And remember, had Allah willed, He could have put you into difficulty by not allowing that. But He's allowed you, so be careful. Okay, if you need to mix their mal with your mal, mix it with your mal and make the cooking and drinking food and everything mixed. But make sure you protect his mal. Don't do anything to consume his mal quickly. وَلَوْ شَاءَ اللَّهُ لَعَنَتَكُمْ إِنَّ اللَّهَ عَزِيزٌ حَكِيمٌ. Up to here, some monetary masail were mentioned. Next, Allah is mentioning some masail of nikah, shadi biyah, marriage, wedding. وَلَا تَنْكِحُ الْمُشْرِكَاتِ حَتَّى يُؤْمِنَّ. शादी किससे करनी है, किससे नहीं करनी है. शादी के बाद कुछ मसाइल हैं, कुछ पर्सनल लाइफ के मसाइल भी आएंगे, हम स्त्री और अपनी प्राइवेट लाइफ उसके भी कुछ मसाइल आएंगे. और these matters we will discuss them as we go on. आज जो सबक पढ़ा उसका तर्जुमा कर लो. बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम. وَيَسْأَلُونَكَ مَاذَا يُنْفِقُونَ. And they ask thee as to what they should spend. قُلِ الْعَفْوَ. Say the redundant portion, or you can translate as say whatever is extra and additional above your needs. كَذَلِكَ يُبَيِّنُ اللَّهُ لَكُمُ الْآيَاتِ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَفَكَّرُونَ. Thus does Allah expound to you His commands so that you may ponder. فِي الدُّنْيَا وَالْآخِرَةِ. You may ponder over this world and over the hereafter. وَيَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الْيَتَامَى. They ask thee regarding the orphans. قُلْ إِصْلَاحٌ لَهُمْ خَيْرٌ. Say, O my beloved Muhammad, to set right affair for them is best. وَإِن تُخَالِطُوهُمْ فَإِخْوَانُكُمْ. And if you were to mix them, then they are your brothers. Treat them like real brothers. وَاللَّهُ يَعْلَمُ الْمُفْسِدَ مِنَ الْمُصْلِحِ. Allah knows the foul dealer from the fair dealer. وَلَوْ شَاءَ اللَّهُ لَأَعْنَتَكُمْ. And had Allah so willed, He could have put you into difficulty or afflicted you. إِنَّ اللَّهَ عَزِيزٌ حَكِيمٌ. Indeed, Allah is mighty and wise. Inshallah, from the next verse, we will continue later, verse number 221. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله وسلم على سيدنا محمد وآله وأصحابه أجمعين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد النبي الأمي وعلى آله وأصحابه وسلم تسليما. اللهم انفعنا بما علمتنا وعلمنا ما ينفعنا وزدنا علما. اللهم فقهنا في الدين وعلمنا التفسير والتأويل. اللهم نذر قلوبنا بالقرآن وزين أخلاقنا بالقرآن ونجنا من النار بالقرآن وادخلنا الجنة بشفاعة القرآن. اللهم اجعل القرآن العظيم ربيع قلوبنا ونور صدورنا وجلاء أحزاننا وذهاب همومنا وغمومنا وكروبنا يا رب العالمين. اللهم ذكرنا منه ما نسينا وعلمنا منه ما جهلنا وارزقنا تلاوته آناء الليل وأطراف النهار واجعله لنا حجة يا رب العالمين. राहिमीन। या रहमर राहिमीन, महज़ अपने फज़्ल व करम से हम सब की मग़फ़िरत फ़रमा दीजिए, पूरी उम्मत की मग़फ़िरत फ़रमा दीजिए। हमारे यहाँ उठना बैठना, कहना सुनना, पढ़ना पढ़ाना कबूल फ़रमाइए, हमसे राज़ी हो जाइए। कुरान पाक की समझ अता फ़रमाइए, फ़हम अता फ़रमाइए। कुरान पाक की हिदायत पर पूरा पूरा अमल करने की तौफ़ीक़ नसीब फ़रमाइए। हमारी टूटी-फूटी दुआएँ कबूल फ़रमाइए, हमारी सारी ज़रूरतें पूरी फ़रमाइए, दीनी, दुनियावी, उख़रवी ज़रूरतें पूरी फ़रमाइए। पूरी उम्मत मुस्लिमा के हाल पर रहम फ़रमाइए। या अल्लाह खैर के फ़ैसले फ़रमाइए, मज़लूमीन की मदद फ़रमाइए, मरहूमीन की मग़फ़िरत फ़रमाइए, परेशान हालों की परेशानियाँ ख़त्म फ़रमाइए, फ़लस्तीन पर रहम फ़रमाइए, गज़्ज़ा पर रहम फ़रमाइए, शहीदों के दर्जात बुलंद फ़रमाइए, पीछे जो हैं उनके पसमानदगान को सब्र जमील अता फ़रमाइए, जो भी होमलेस हैं उनको अच्छा शेल्टर नसीब फरमाइए, जो इंजर्ड हैं उनके लिए इलाज मुआवजे के असबाब नसीब फरमाइए, उनकी हॉस्पिटलों की हिफाजत फरमाइए। या अल्लाह जो बेचारे बीमार हैं उनको शिफा अता फरमाइए, बूढ़े हैं, कमज़ोर हैं, छोटे छोटे मासूम बच्चे हैं, औरतें हैं, उन पर खुसूसी रहम फरमाइए। या अल्लाह उनके क़ुलूब पर सब्र और सकीना नाजिल फरमाइए, उनकी ज़रूरतें पूरी फरमाइए। जो लोग उनकी ज़रूरतें पूरी करने की कोशिश करते हैं, उनके लिए आवाज़ उठाते हैं, उन सब को जज़ाए खैर अता फरमाइए। जो लोग जुल्म करते हैं उनके हक़ में हिदायत है तो नसीब फरमाइए, नहीं है तो उनके साथ इसी तरह निमट लीजिए जिसके वो हकदार हैं, और उनके मामले को आप ही ज़्यादा जानते हैं। या अल्लाह हम उनको आपके हवाले करते हैं, आप ही खैर के फ़ैसले फरमाइए, हिदायत अता फरमाइए, परेशानियों से बचाइए, पूरी उम्मत बल्कि पूरी इंसानियत पर रहम फरमाइए। रब्बना तक़ब्बल मिन्ना इन्नका अंतस समीउल अलीम व तुब अलैना इन्नका अंतत तव्वाबुर रहीम। सल्लल्लाहु तआला अला खैरि खल्क़िही सय्यिदिना मुहम्मदिन व आलिहि व अस्हाबिही अजमईन बिरहमतिका या